Hello and welcome to Wet Up. It's all about what's trending in education. We're still in back to school mode, and COVID-19 has altered almost everything that we consider to be normal during this back to school season. Schools in New Providence just recently reopened 100% virtually, while other schools across the Bahamas would have opened either face-to-face, blended, or 100% virtually. Administrators, district superintendents, teachers, students, parents all had to make major adjustments for back to school. So today we're going to chat with a public school administrator who's going to give us an inside look at what preparations her school made for back to school. But first, the question of the day, BJC Social Studies. Which bank was established to assist entrepreneurs in starting small businesses? A. Bahamas Development Bank. B. Bank of the Bahamas. C. Central Bank of the Bahamas. Or D. Commonwealth Bank. Here are the answers we got on the street.
A. Bahamas Development Bank.
D. Commonwealth Bank. A. Bahamas Development Bank.
Well, based on my understanding, I think the answer is A. Bahamas Development Bank.
A. Bahamas Development Bank. A. Bahamas Development Bank.
B. Bank of the Bahamas.
So what is the correct answer? The answer is A. The Bahamas Development Bank. Stay with us. Our chat segment is up next. Joining me now is Mrs. Dorothea Thompson, principal at the Carlton E. Francis Primary School, and she'll give us an inside view of what preparations at her school looked like for the 2020-2021 academic year. Mrs. Thompson, it's so good to have you join us.
It's nice to be with you.
How long were you principal here at Carlton E. Francis Primary?
This is my 8th week here at Carlton E. Francis Primary.
Wow, so you're considered a new kid on the block.
Yes.
So what is the student population at your school?
Presently, our population is 867 students, but they still have parents who are registering.
During the first wave of the pandemic, schools had to shut down abruptly, and teachers, the Ministry of Education, they were proactive and facilitated virtual learning with challenges, of course. Now that there was more time to prepare and begin the new school year, specifically here in New Providence, virtually, what are your expectations for virtual learning or the outcome of virtual learning this year?
My expectations are for teaching and learning to take place. I expect teacher proficiency, and so we have ongoing training for our teachers so that they can feel more comfortable logging on to the LMS system. We also want to communicate more with our parents, and so we communicate daily through Facebook, and we also communicate through Zoom, and teachers call parents on WhatsApp, or they communicate on that particular platform.
What preparations were you making to ensure that the transition into this school year was smooth?
During the first week when the teachers returned, the Ministry of Education, they conducted online training with teachers, so they were in sessions from 9 to 3. The following week, we had in-house sessions, and administrators basically conducted those sessions, even though we had some people come in virtually to conduct LMS sessions for our teachers. And during that week, they also started the compiling of the teaching kits that would be uploaded to the LMS system. And so we also want to have parental involvement. And so we had a Zoom PTA meeting, and what was so, incredible, I should say, we had 455 parents who participated in that meeting. So that was excellent.
After being exposed to the ministry's new LMS platform, how do you think it will enhance learning for our students?
I think the teachers will be less anxious now about going online or teaching live in front of the camera, because the LMS, they're supposed to have the teaching kits uploaded, and those kits have the lesson plan, they have the videos, they have the PowerPoint, they have worksheets. So it isn't that they have to really think about what they need to do, because everything should be right there and in place. So they should be more comfortable, and if they're more comfortable, they'll be even better with imparting knowledge to our students.
Now, amid this global pandemic, there are many lessons that can be learned. What is the number one lesson that you would want your teachers to learn as a result of this experience?
To persevere. We're all meeting up in a new situation, and so the slogan for the health team, I think it is we're all in this together. So our theme for this year was creating a culture of care, competency, and collaboration. So I don't want anyone to feel like they're left alone, because we're all working together as a team. So we're the rockets, so we are even blazing to higher heights beyond the stars.
Okay, that's a great note to end on, and I'm wishing you all the best for this new year.
Thank you so much.
Here at the Carlton E. Francis Primary School, there is a section which caters to students with special needs. Mr. Trevor Green, head of the unit, gives us an idea of how effective virtual learning has been for this group since school started.
For the past 2 weeks, there has been some challenges, because, especially with special needs students, getting them used to something new, something they probably have never touched on before, can be a challenge. And in addition to them learning the devices, they now have to know how to get into the classes, how to complete their work online, how to submit it online. For the most part, I've been speaking directly with the parents. Especially with special needs, you would have to do that, talk a lot with the parents, and their help has been greatly appreciated. They have done a lot to help the students along, and basically that's what you need, that cooperation. As long as while they're home, we really need that in order for students to be able to complete their work and getting it on time. So I structured the course in a specific way in order to give them breaks. In the mornings we have a general meeting where we go through all our drills, get that done, get their brains fired up. And then after that, I have scheduled one-on-one sessions, half-hour piece. So it basically runs me from 10 to about 2 o'clock. And in those sessions, I further break those sessions down into 10-minute gaps, give them time to catch themselves. And when I see that they are struggling, I usually throw in a related video, whether it's YouTube or from somewhere else, just to get them in the frame, keep them in the frame of mind to do their work. They have been doing very well for the most part. We still have a little issues with getting the work submitted in on time, but I don't pay too much attention to that, as long as I'm able to see that they're learning, getting the information, learning the concept, using the materials, the tools to get the work done. We're fine. It's been very successful from my part using that particular strategy, and I haven't encountered any of my students who have been that challenged. Like I spoke to you earlier, I would have preferred face-to-face, but in the environment you have to adapt, so there has to be you have to compensate for them not being here. It all comes down to strategy, You have to know each of your students. Once you know each and every one of your students, you are able to follow that basic model, compensate, accommodate, modify, and implement a strategy that would get the child in the mood, motivate them to want to be online and want to learn. There are also some sensory issues that you have to account for, and in doing that, you speak with the parents of the child to make sure that they are able to help, whether it's the lighting or maybe the tablet or the computer might be up too loud, you need to turn it on, it might be too low, you need to turn it up. You have to get all those things in order, and you have to make sure that they are consistent every time that you meet with that child, on at least when I meet with that child on that one-on-one basis. There are some concerns with special needs. I do have some concerns, but when you use like a scaffolding effect with your students, and you continuously build on what you would have done with them, continue to build on it, they would get it. It might take a little longer for them to grasp the concept, but I believe for the most part they will, as long as you remain consistent. And bear in mind that the parents too, who know their child, these children grew up with them. They gave birth to these children. As long as you have their support, I believe that you can get it done. There are going to be some challenges, like I said, but it can be done, but it's going to take a little longer.
Today's student in the spotlight is a recent graduate of the Garventines Primary School. This year, she placed 4th runner-up in the Bahamas Primary School Student of the Year competition. Her name, Rowana St. Hill.
Rowana is a beautiful girl. She is small in stature, but she is wise beyond her years. Rowana sets herself apart from the other students, and she tells you as much. She has a bold confidence about her that is quiet. Even though she's our deputy head girl, Rowana does not flaunt it, but she definitely gains the respect of her peers. She's purposeful. Even in the clubs that she joins, she has a purpose or a reason as to why she wants to be a part of that club. She sets that objective and that goal down, and she sees it straight through to the end. And for me, that makes her a unique individual. While Rowana was a part of Garventines Primary School, she participated in a myriad of clubs. She was a member of our soccer team. She was also a member of our K-Kids, our SEM club, the Red Cross. You name it, Rowana did it. I was excited and elated by her win. And the first thought that came to my mind was she actually did it. Because when she was chosen as Student of the Year for our school, she said, "Oh, Mrs. Ferguson, I am not leaving without a top prize." So in my heart, I said to myself, she prophesied as an individual that puts God first, and her vision came to pass.
And that concludes our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Adama Williams for EdUp.
Director of Education Marcellus Taylor said that the Ministry of Education is committed to delivering on its mission of providing a quality education to all students, despite the initial growing pains of its online platform.
Like anything else, there are challenges. Even before COVID-19, in our regular day-to-day school operation, we have challenges, right? As an education system, it's our job to try and minimize those challenges so that we will not have any encumbrances to students' learning. The same way we target challenges pre-COVID, one by one, is the same way we're seeking to do it on the virtual platform. The key to it all is identifying those challenges and working with the people who could help to overcome it.